Loading a code plug into the Baofeng DM-1701. Today I'm going to show you how to take your UV380 or UV390, whichever one you have, same radio internally. Take that code plug and load in the digital contacts and the channels and everything into this newer model of radio. So let's get started.
Shut up and sit down.
Hey guys, welcome to Ham Radio 2.0. My name is Jason. I'm KC5HWB. On this channel, we do reviews, news, and how-tos of everything that's new in amateur radio. So if that's something that interests you, consider subscribing below. So I will post a link right here to the first video that I did for the DM-1701, which got a lot of views, and a lot of watch time, and a lot of hits on YouTube, and a lot of really good comments. And the reason I'm recording this video today is because someone came in and commented about how they exported their UV380 code plug out of that radio and imported it into this radio. So we're going to do that today. I'm going to show you how to do that today. We're going to load DMR contacts, which is talk groups, and we're going to load channels for just one repeater, and we're going to see how that looks. Also, something else I wanted to start adding to a lot of the videos upcoming. All of these videos are also posted on a podcast as an audio-only podcast streaming service. They're shared to iTunes. They're shared to Google Podcasts and iHeartRadio. They're hosted on a service called Spreaker. So if you're on Spreaker, you can find that link in the description below. But a special welcome to all my audio-only listeners. This video upcoming is going to be primarily a viewing video, so you're welcome to follow along and listen to us. But if you're not watching what we do, then you might miss a couple things. So, but I'll try to be as verbal as I can about it. So thanks for that. Okay, so what I want to do is take a UV380 code plug, which I got a bunch of those, export it into a CSV file, and then import it into this radio. So these are the steps we're going to take today. So I'm going to open up my CPS UV390 software. CPS means customer programming software. Okay, that's just what they call software for programming radios in the commercial world. So since DMR is a commercial standard, it translated over. As far as MD-UV380 or 390, those radios are exactly the same internally. Okay, so it doesn't matter which version of software you use. As far as the UV380 or UV390, both versions of software will work on both versions of radios. The thing you have to watch for is your radio a GPS radio or not? So make sure that the 380 or 390 software you're using says GPS if you have a GPS radio, or does not say GPS if you don't have a GPS radio. That's the important thing. Doesn't matter model number, it matters GPS, yes or no. A little sidebar there. So we're going to go in here, and I'm going to open up a code plug that I have that is just a standalone code plug for my repeater, for my backyard repeater, which is right there. So I'm going to open up this code plug, which I've got listed as MD-2017, but it doesn't matter. It translates to the UV models. And I've just named it MD-2017_KC5HWB. This is my backyard repeater code plug. It's just how I remember it. So you can click on the digital contact menu here, and you can see I've got 150 different talk groups added to this code plug, and then you can click on the channel information, and you can see I've got 59 different channels in this code plug. Again, this is just for one repeater. So what you want to do is go and click just where I clicked, digital contacts on the left, and and open up the channel information menu and click on any of the channels in there. And in both of these pop-up windows that come up right here, there is an export button. So if I go export, now I've already done this to make sure it works before I hit record. So this is what I exported, UV390 contacts, which I called it, you can call it whatever you want to. I just called it UV390 contacts for the heck of it, but they're group contacts, they're talk groups is what they are. So I exported that CSV file, and then you go to channel information and click on the same button, export, and I exported that CSV file, which I called UV390 export.csv. Again, you can name it whatever you want to. Just remember what you named it and remember where you put it. That's the important thing. And after that's done, we can go ahead and close out of our MD-UV390 CPS. Now I've already got this, the DM So now we're going to open the CPS DM-1701, and I'm going to click on the same menus, digital contacts. I'm going to import, and I'm going to go find that file, which is, again, right here, UV390 contacts. Boom. It put everything in there that was in there before, that was in the other code plug before. And then I'm going to go to channel information. There's only one channel in this brand new code plug. And this is just, I haven't even read the radio yet. I just opened the CPS and went through the code plug that was there. So now I'm going to go import, and I'm going to say this export one here. That's just, again, that's just what I called it. And I'm going to open that, and you see it populates all those channels on the left-hand menu below. And now it says down at the bottom, it says 1 of 59. So any channels that you might have had in the code plug prior will get wiped out when you do an import. So just keep that in mind. It's not good at merging that I've found yet, but it is good. This channel 1 was in the old code plug because that's my repeater frequency. So I know that was there already. I'm going to delete that. And then I'm going to go up here to general setting. I'm going to put DM-1701, my radio ID, just like that. I'm going to change this to, yeah, no, that's right. Channel, change my time, UTC -6. And now I'm going to plug it in and write to the radio. As I mentioned in the last video, the programming cables for these are not the same as the analog Baofeng programming cables. So if you have one of these that's stamped Baofeng, it's not going to work on the DM models. I suggest going to radioddity.com or buy2wayradios.com and finding the actual cable that works for the DMR versions of Baofeng radios, which includes the RD5R, the DM-1701 and 1702, and the DM-1801. So those are different cables than the rest of them. So now we're going to go right, click on OK. And there it goes. Started at 1%, goes to 3, 5, 7, going up about 2% every second. And there it goes. Gets to about 25%, and then it starts going a little bit faster for whatever reason. It did that last time when I wrote to it as well. So we're going to let that finish. Write data success. So I wrote that, everything worked fine, but the zones didn't import. And there's no import-export button on the zone window. If you click on zone information and go to zone 1, there's no import and export on the zone window. So what you have to do is go back and manually add, you rename your zone to whatever you want, and manually add your channels back to your zone. Your channel A is going to be your top band channels on the top of the screen. And your channel member B is going to be the bottom band channel. So you can make those the same if you want, or you can make them different. I'm just going to add a few here for the interest of time. So I stopped the camera for a minute and started again. I went in and did some rearranging just so everything's kind of nice and clean looking. So I went through and renamed the zone, and I added 2 channels to channel member A and 1 channel to channel member B. I just wanted to do it for simplicity's sake. For the purposes of this video. So we're going to go ahead and write that to the radio. Plug the radio back in, obviously. Well, there it goes, a little bit quicker. Right there. Write data success. Click OK. All right. There we go there. And so you can, so it's got channel names where they are now. The zone is named
1, 2.
Does the 1, 2 thing like all the Baofengs do. I'm going to key this up and see if anybody's listening on North Texas Wide. KC5 HWB testing on North Texas Wide. Let's see, NetWatch. And there I see myself on the net watch. Good deal.
5 PMV.
I didn't hear who that was because he didn't. Oh, KG5 VMV. Okay, Donald, I got you in there. Yeah, I got you in there. I didn't quite hear you, but I see you coming through the netwatch here. I'm just doing some testing on a new radio, and wondering how it sounds.
Oh, I'm hitting.
He's falling out of the repeater. Okay, test semi-successful. So, all right. So what happened was I switched out this this Baofeng antenna, which is this one right here, and I put on my antenna from my Anytone D878, same SMA female connector on both antennas. Worked fine. It ended up working fine on the Baofeng antenna also, although this Anytone antenna is better. The sensitivity on this radio is not as good as some of the higher end radios, as you might suspect, as it should not be a huge surprise. So my current backyard repeater is literally inside the house, in my office, on a dummy load. Okay, so it's not transmitting like out of my property line probably. Okay, now having said that, many times I have used the Anytone and my R-Finder and a couple other radios here in the shack and talked into that repeater with the dummy load on and been able to hold a conversation. No problem at all. Okay, this one works great. This one works great. But this one just flat would not hear the traffic. I had to go inside, and I talked to Don, who was on there coming back to me, and I could see him on the net watch, and he was not dropping out of the repeater like I thought he was at first. I walked inside the house, I keyed up, and we had a 1-minute conversation. It worked fine. So the sensitivity on this radio is not as great as what it is on some of its competitors. Having said that, if you're using a hotspot, and your hotspot's always in the same room with you, or you're actually using a repeater that's close by on a good outdoor antenna, probably wouldn't matter. Okay, but just take it for what it is. This radio is not going to be the quality of an Anytone radio. It's just, I mean, that's just end of story. There's nothing else to be said about that. The Anytone radio is a much better radio than the Baofeng radio for DMR radios. Okay, if we're talking about Anytone 868, 878, 878 Plus as compared to a DM-1701 or perhaps the 1801. I haven't reviewed that one yet. I'm getting ready to do that next. But anyway, today's project was successful. We got the contacts and the channels exported out of our UV390 software, imported into the DM-1701 software, written to the radio. Everything's working. It's all good. You don't have to write a code plug from scratch. Thank you to those of you who commented on my last video and let me know how to do this, because I've done it before, but it's been a long time and I've never done it on video before. So I was given a reminder. I'm like, that's what I need to do. 73 guys, thanks for watching. Put your comments below, and we'll catch you next time.